Joshua chapter 6, Yehoshua, Perek Vav. ויריחו סוגרת ומסוגרת מפני בני ישראל, אין יוצא ואין בא. And Jericho had shut its gates and was barred because of the children of Israel. None went out, and none came in. ויאמר אדוני אל יהושע, ראה, נתתי בידך את יריחו ואת מלכה גיבורי החיל. And the Lord said to Joshua, see, I have given into your hand Jericho and its king, the mighty warriors. וסבותם את העיר כל אנשי המלחמה, הקיף את העיר פעם אחת, כה תעשה ששת ימים. And you shall circle the city, all the men of war, go round about the city once, thus shall you do 6 days. ושבעה כהנים יישאו 7 שופרות היובלים לפני הארון, וביום השביעי תסובו את העיר 7 פעמים, והכהנים יתקעו בשופרות. And 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark, and on the 7th day you shall encircle the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow with the trumpets. והיה במשוך בקרן היובל, כשומעכם את קול השופר, יריעו כל העם תרועה גדולה, ונפלה חומת העיר תחתיה, ועלו העם איש נגדו. And it shall be that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down in its place, and the people shall go up, every man opposite him. ויקרא יהושע בן נון אל הכהנים, ויאמר עליהם, שאו את ארון הברית, ו7 כהנים יישאו 7 שופרות יובלים לפני ארון אדוני. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said to them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. ויאמר אל העם, עברו וסובו את העיר, והחלוץ יעבור לפני ארון אדוני. Then he said to the people, pass on and encircle the city, and let the armed ones pass before the ark of the Lord. ויהי כאמור יהושע אל העם, ו7 הכהנים נושאים 7 שופרות היובלים לפני אדוני, עברו ותקעו בשופרות, וארון ברית אדוני הולך אחריהם. And it was when Joshua spoke to the people, and the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before the ark of the Lord, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. והחלוץ הולך לפני הכהנים, תוקע שופרות, והמאסף הולך אחרי הארון, הלוך ותקוע בשופרות. And the armed men went before the priests that blew the trumpets, and the rear guard came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. ואת העם ציווה יהושע לאמור, לא תריעו ולא תשמיעו את קולכם, ולא יצא מפיכם דבר, עד יום אומרי עליכם, הריעו והריעותם. And Joshua commanded the people, saying, You shall not shout, nor let your voice be heard, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth, until the day I bid you shout, then you shall shout. ויסב ארון אדוני את העיר היקף פעם אחת, ויבוא המחנה, וילינו במחנה. And he caused the ark of the Lord to circle the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. וישכם יהושע בבוקר, ויישאו הכהנים את ארון Adonai. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. ושבעה הכהנים נושאים 7 שופרות היובלים לפני ארון אדוני, הולכים הלוך ותקעו בשופרות, והחלוץ הולך לפניהם, והמאסף הולך אחרי ארון אדוני הלוך ותקוע בשופרות. And the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord were going continuously, and they blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them, and the rear guard came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. ויסובו את העיר ביום השני פעם אחת, וישובו המחנה, כה עשו 6 ימים. And the second day they circled the city once and returned to the camp, so they did 6 days. ויהי ביום השביעי וישכימו כעלות השחר, ויסובו את העיר כמשפט הזה 7 פעמים, רק ביום ההוא סובבו את העיר 7 פעמים. And it was on the 7th day that they rose early at the dawning of the day, and they circled the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they circled the city 7 times. Meaning only on the 7th day did they circle it 7 times. ויהי פעם השביעית תקעו הכהנים בשופרות, ויאמר יהושע אל העם, הריעו כי נתן אדוני לכם את העיר. And it was at the 7th time the priests blew with the trumpets, and Joshua said to the people, shout, for the Lord has given you the city. והייתה העיר חרם היא, וכל אשר בא לאדוני, רק רחב הזונה תחיה, היא וכל אשר איתה בבית, כי החבאתה את המלאכים אשר שלחו. And the city shall be devoted to it, and all that is in it to the Lord. Only Rachav the harlot shall live. You see, over here they translated harlot. I'm going back to Joshua chapter 2, when they translated it, Rachav was an innkeeper. They said Zona is an innkeeper, because they wanted to connect that, I think, with mizonot, is like sustenance, like an innkeeper. But here they translate it as harlot, so it shouldn't be any difference back there and here. So this just confirms the when I was saying that it was a harlot, it should be both ways. That's what it seems to be, because they translated harlot over here. Rachav the harlot shall live, she and all that is with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. ורק אתם שמרו מן החרם, פן תחרימו ולקחתם מן החרם, ושמתם את המחנה ישראל לחרם, ואכלתם אותו. And only you keep yourselves from the devoted thing, lest you make yourself, or consecrated thing, lest you make yourselves condemned when you take the consecrated thing and make the camp of Israel a ruin and trouble it. Devoted, consecrated, or separated. That can be cherem, any one of those. וכל כסף וזהב וכלי נחושת וברזל קודש הוא לאדוני אוצר אדוני יבוא. And all the silver and gold and vessels of copper and iron are consecrated to the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. וירא העם ויתקעו השופרות, ויהי כשמוע העם את קול השופר, ויריעו העם תרועה גדולה, ותיפול החומה תחתיה, ויעל העם העירה איש נגדו, וילכדו את העיר. And the people shouted, and the priests blew with the trumpets, and it was when the people heard the sound of the trumpet that the people shouted with a great shout, and the wall fell down in its place, and the people went up into the city, every man opposite him. This is the second time this terminology came up, so I have to ask about this. What does that mean when it says ish negdo? Ish negdo. This came up in verse, hold on. I don't know what it means, that ish negdo. Yeah, in verse 5, it says the wall shall fall down, every man opposite him. I don't know why that's important. Verse 5 and verse 20, ish negdo. So, like everything else, when I don't know the translation and there's no commentaries, I'm not saying there's no commentaries, but I haven't seen any commentaries. My best commentary is the realm of Gematria. When you get into numbers and pure mathematics, that's where all the meaning is. Ish negdo equals 374. Ish negdo. Who knows? Okay, anyway, let's continue. Vayilkedu et ha'ir. And the people shouted, the priest blew the trumpets, and it was, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people shouted with a great shout, and the wall fell down in its place, and the people went up into the city, every man opposite him. Ish negdo. And they took the city. ויחרימו את כל אשר בעיר מאיש ויד אישה, מנער ויד זקן, ויד שור ושה וחמור לפי חרב. And they completely destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey with the edge of the sword. ולשניים האנשים המרגלים. Here's another question. Why did they switch it from meraglim, that's what I was looking for, to melachim? Okay, מרגלים את הארץ, אמר יהושע, בואו בית האישה הזונה, והוציאו משם את האישה, את כל אשר לה, כאשר נשבעתם לה. And the two men who had spied out the country, Joshua said, go into the harlot's house, and bring out from there the woman, and all that she has, as you swore to her. ויבואו הנערים המרגלים, the two young men who were spies went in, ויוציאו את רחב, את אביה ואת אמה ואת אחיה, את כל אשר לה ואת כל משפחותיה, הוציאו ויניחום מחוץ למחנה ישראל. And the young men who were spies went in and brought out Rahab, and her father and her mother, and her brothers, and all that she had, and they brought out all her families and families. See, it shows that maybe family, kol mishpechoteha, just her family, no? They say families. Anyway, and placed them outside the camp of Israel. והעיר שרפו באש, וכל אשר בה רק הכסף והזהב וכלי הנחושת, והברזל נתנו אוצר בית אדוני. And they burned the city with fire, and all that was in it, only the silver and the gold, and the vessels of copper and iron, they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord. ואת רחב הזונה, ואת בית אביה, ואת כל אשר לה, החיה יהושע, ותשב בקרב ישראל עד היום הזה, כי החביאה את המלאכים אשר שלח יהושע לרגל את יריחו. Maybe this is where the Midrash, because there's a rabbinic tradition that Joshua married Rahab. Maybe this is where they get it from. But Rahab the harlot and her father's household and all that she had, Joshua saved alive, and she dwelt in the midst of Israel to this day. It's like he saved her and she dwelt in Israel. Maybe that juxtaposition, that's a kind of a big technique with rabbinic interpretation. When you see two things that are next to each other, you make an inference by the fact that they're put next to each other. It's like a remez. It's like a hint. Joshua saved her, and she dwelt with Israel. So, what's that hinting at? You could have just said Joshua saved her. That's it. No, Joshua saved her, and she dwelt in Israel. Maybe. I'm saying if it was, I could see how they would do that. Because she hid the messengers whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. So you have a lot of Joshua going on here. He's mentioned several times. You're connecting Joshua with Rahab a lot. So it's not just here. It's in the verses before. It says, and Joshua, Joshua said, going to the harlot's house, bring up, he's involved with this harlot, it's Rahab. So it seems that, Anyway, and she dwelt in the midst of Israel to this day because she hid the messengers whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. Vayashba Yehoshua betahi lemor. And Joshua adjured them at the time, saying, or he swore, or adjured them, Arura ish lifnei Adonai, asher yakumu vana et ha'ir hazot, et Yericho b'mchoro yiyasadena, uvitziro yatziv dalteha. Joshua adjured them at the time, saying, Cursed be the man before the Lord that rises up and builds this city, Jericho, with the loss of his firstborn shall he lay its foundation, and with the loss of his youngest son shall he set up its gates. Something tells me that this will have some kind of ramification later on in Nach. I don't know. This comes up somehow. I can't remember where. I think I heard that there's something to this. But just let's keep that in mind for whenever it does. We heard it here first, or at least for now in this reading. Vayhi Adonai et Yehoshua, vayhi shamo bechol haaretz. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was throughout the entire land.